Mr. Bill Carroll, how are you doing?
It is very exciting to be here, Greg. Hope you're doing well.
I am. We're watching the Indiana Hoosiers here put an absolute beat down on the Oregon Ducks. But before we carry on with any other of the two big semifinal games, there was a Division II title game. Montana State 35, Illinois State 34 in overtime. This was just a remarkable game.
Yeah, obviously, you've got a situation where some incredibly courageous plays were made. Uh, Shout out to my friend Jalen Love and other friends of mine who went to Illinois State. They managed to, first of all, send NDSU back home. Well, they're
Yep.
already home, I guess. Send them home disappointed since they're already home. You saw their defensive players make big plays at the right time. Their quarterback, Rittenhouse, got better and better and better. He was a guy that I was intrigued by early in the year, but wondered about consistency and mental toughness. Well, he just got more consistent and more mentally tough as things went on. And in a game like that, everything could be a deciding factor. Neither of the two teams played an entirely clean run, but I would say the Montana State Grizzlies in general did a better job of coming up with a big player to make a big play when a big play had to be made.
And that was fourth down when they scored that touchdown. I mean, that was just so remarkable to watch. But again, for all of you guys who follow just the Senior Bowl and the East West Shrine game and all that, you guys better watch these CS teams as well. This was just superb football. It was very well played, very well. So again, January the 19th, we're going to see the Miami Hurricanes against the Indiana Hoosiers. The Hoosiers will be the home team, even though this game is being played in Miami.
Correct.
Boy, last night was a pretty remarkable game as well. What did you make of last night's game?
That was another game that went essentially, with a few exceptions, close to what I had imagined. I thought Ole Miss had a good chance to win the game, and they did. Right. There were times when Hawaii could have, not Hawaii, sorry, when Miami could have finished them off earlier. They could have put more distance between themselves, played more consistently, things like that. But they let Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss hang around. And Trinidad Chambliss is exactly the kind of player who will come up with a way to beat you. He's got some MacGyver in him. You're always nervous when he has the ball in his hands. I think that Kewan Lacey re-aggravated a pulled hamstring muscle, and I think that changed the way Ole Miss ended up running. They still ran the ball reasonably well, but nothing like what they would have done, I believe, if he'd been out there. And the last one is Beck made one or two minor mistakes, including one interception, but for the most part, and that was the most important thing, he played a clean game with those exceptions. He'll need to have a clean game, no exceptions, to have a chance against a team like Indiana.
Yeah. I'm going to put this up here. I want you to read this. I want you to read this, Bill.
The Indiana Hoosiers team is the best coached team in every aspect of football I have seen this century. Yeah, I can think of some teams that at least should be mentioned in the same breath, but not many of them. Not a bunch.
Century. I'm talking this century. I'm talking this century, not the old century that you and I were born in here, the 20th, where we saw some very good football teams who were coached in every aspect of the game very well. I'm talking this team, the special teams guy right from the get-go. They pounded Oregon off the hop. The defense is such a solid group of guys, and this offensive team is just a nightmare to try to deal with. This is such a well-coached team.
Yep. I think that when we break these games down, and sometimes there are little minor key matchups and things, this slot receiver versus nickel corner, this particular, 3-tech versus this particular guard. But sometimes the game is simple.
Well, here's how simple it is. The Hoosiers just blocked a punt.
Right.
Um, again, as I said, their special teams are very well coached. So here they are about to go in to make it 49-15 here. This is such a well coached team.
And then at that point, you can start pulling starters and things like that. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this Indiana Hoosiers team is easily the best coached team in every aspect of this game I have seen in this century. Now, Mr. Saban had great teams. Oh yeah, but were they as good coach wise? I don't think so. Because guess what? This Indiana Hoosiers team, you make a single error and they are on you. On you. Every single error that the Oregon Ducks have made tonight, the Indiana Hoosiers have taken advantage of. And they did the same thing against Alabama and everybody else they've played.
Right.
This is the best coach team I've seen this century. Bottom line.
They're certainly one of the best, and there's not many. I mean, some of the you don't really throw the ball much in academy football, but I remember some of those Fisher DeBerry Air Force Academy teams. Now they might have one or two, like they had Chad Henne at one point, maybe one or two guys that were prospects, but they were when they were at humming, when they were at their best, their offense, which externally looked simple, you couldn't take anything away, you couldn't stop it. Some of those USC teams under McKay and then later Robinson were very well coached. The Pete Carroll USC teams very well coached. Woody Hayes,
John Robinson.
Yeah, well, John Robinson I mentioned. John Robinson,
yeah,
who had the unenviable task of following McKay when McKay went to the NFL. But he kept the standard, and like I said, I would say maybe some positions got even better coaching. The thing about Miami and the thing about Indiana, who are going to face each other, is some of their weaknesses line up, and some of their weaknesses, are not the weaknesses of the other team. There's not a lot of weaknesses for Indiana, obviously, but and there's a big old if you can stay alive in the pocket, if you don't end up getting sacked within 2.6 seconds, things like that, that gives you a chance to develop some of those later breaking, routes that break later down the field. And though the defensive backs from Indiana are very good, I think that making them flip their hips and run is not the thing they're best at, right? I think they're best at making downhill. So I would say that'd be something I'd be trying to do. Can you establish the run? Can you have long, preferably, very long possessions? And then last but not least, if there's a mistake made, if Indiana makes a mistake, like once again, the two times the ball came out, you have to capitalize. You can't have one of their guys jumping on top of the ball and that's it.
Well, Mr. Surratt just got his second touchdown of the game. You throw that football to Elijah Surratt, and his catch radius is just so damn good. And here's a guy who was a 2-star recruit. Oh, sorry, Elijah. I'm sorry. He was a 0-star. Zero star.
Mendoza was a 2-star, yeah.
Yeah. Cooper was a 2-star. Cooper was only a 2-star. Can you imagine these guys were just 2-star, 0 stars out of high school? And there's 7 of them that are still from the James Madison team that came over last year. Surratt was one of them. Randall and I have said all year long, Elijah Surratt is the most NFL-ready wide receiver in this draft class. He is the most ready to go. So whoever does draft that man, you have got yourself a real good number 2 wide receiver or a number 3, depending on how deep your team is. You have got a real receiver.
Yeah, I once again, Miami is the traditional powerhouse that's still sort of hanging around. We already talked about how Indiana, has not a lot of even postseason victories, let alone national championship victories in their school's entire history. So this is exciting.
Well, here we'll go over this. The FBS losses all time Bill, number one, is now the Northwestern Wildcats.
Right.
Number two, by one loss only, is the Indiana Hoosiers in FBS football. What Mr. Signetti has done at Indiana has just been absolutely remarkable. And yeah, you're seeing Mark Cuban now, who was a Hoosier grad, coming out and saying, yeah, I wrote them a check this year for the first time ever. This is going to be a lot bigger and better because they've already got a Michigan State wide receiver who's coming in, who's a very good wide receiver. They've got Josh Hoover, the TCU quarterback. They are not going away. Would you agree with that, Bill?
I would agree. I think Surratt and some of the other guys are they fit a certain niche.
Yeah.
The term I use is for him, particularly, is possession plus. I think Omar Cooper is close to that Maydor slot receiver with enough juice that when he gets the ball, especially if he catches it in stride, he can be trouble. Surratt is a guy that sort of wins like Alshon Jeffrey wins, bodies guys up, uses them almost as leverage to jump off of, kind of leans against them sometimes. Like you said, huge catch radius, tough guy, doesn't mind taking a hit at all, and holds on to the ball. Yeah, that's a good player.
So we now have 3 years in a row without an SEC team in the college football playoff. And who do I hear whining about the college football playoff system? These SEC guys are all whining and crying. Cam Newton is whining and crying. Cam Newton. I wish I had those stats up. The Jalen Hurts versus Cam Newton stats are just ridiculous. Jalen Hurts has way more numbers than Cam Newton's ever put up in his career. But Jalen Hurts is a bad guy. I don't get this, but Cam Newton is a superstar. Yeah, right, Cam.
Yep.
These SEC guys are now losing the battle because NIL does not mean you have to be just in an SEC school anymore.
It's democratized, and some people like to say, what isn't a democracy? It's a representative. Oh no, it's a constitutional republic. It's this. What we have now, while the playing field is not truly level, they've taken the fact that the net used to be here on one side and lower on the other side. They've at least even the net up.
Yeah.
Signetti is a good enough coach that he would have gotten to this point at some point. It just would take him longer. Without the portal to NIL, he would have had to, work harder and smarter to get to this point. This happened fast, right?
Oh yeah, I mean this turnaround has just been this has been unbelievable. 3,350 players entered the transfer portal since January the 2nd. That is a 25% rate of every player in Division I and Division II. 25%. That's a huge amount.
It's a crazy number.
Yeah. It is absolutely. And like you said last week when we were on together as well, these guys are not being told the truth. That's the worst part about this. They're not being told this is where you're going to be. Okay, we can talk about the great defensive end for Texas Tech, Romello Height. The guy's been to 4 schools. He's been to 4 schools.
Yes, but he's made himself a lot of money with this last season. Yes.
I heard a guy on this morning. Actually, Brian Broaddus, who is if you've ever wanted to figure out how to draft in the NFL, please watch Brian Broaddus. Brian Broaddus was made the guy who did the 1998 Philadelphia Eagles draft. He is the man responsible for that draft. He was told by Mr. Lurie, do not draft Randy Moss like every other team did, including the Cowboys. But the rest of that 1998 Philadelphia Eagles draft was superb. And it was all done by Brian Broaddus, who had There was 8 scouts that left that organization when Broadus was named the guy. So he had a group of 6 other scouts and himself. They ran that draft. That was a masterful draft. Okay. So when Brian Broadus today said, as far as he's concerned, you get 1 transfer and then you have to sit out a year. If you want to transfer again, you sit out a year. I agree with that. I do. Instead of this every year switching schools, you would have to sit out a year. The old transfer system comes back into play. What do you think of that, Bill?
I'm a little more in the spirit of allowing players to make movement. Now, what I would say is if they have an NIL deal in place, that unless they're able to give back a significant portion of it, say if they, the expectation we're going to be there, for 2 years and you do 1, it's, the last one, blah, blah, blah. I could see someone taking a slightly bigger financial burden, paying a little more.
Well, the Washington quarterback is a perfect example of this currently.
Yeah. Well, I've spoken briefly with some members of the family as well, but it's the main thing about when you look at how these teams are composed, how they're built. All 3 levels on both sides of the ball, when you analyze, you find at least 1 player and sometimes 2 that is amongst the best of their position in this class.
Yeah.
Right. And then the added factor, whatever it is, when you're mentioning, what I think of this, what I think of that. By the very nature, art and these things like this are not always coming from your conscious mind. They could be subconscious. You're seeing like art, right? I mean, Mendoza has just grown and grown and grown on me. I liked him at Cal, liked him a great deal. And, he loved Cal. Like, this isn't about him not enjoying his experience. His degree was a Cal degree, which was busy, which is important to him. He wanted to finish his degree there. No offense to Indiana, but he really had a commitment to finishing his degree at Cal. He processes information really, really well. It's just the accuracy for me. Just him jugs gunning the ball just this far in front of the quarterback or this far over the quarterback's head, just doing it continuously over and over. You could ask for 1,000 throws and 997 of them would be right where you wanted, right where you expected. It's just super consistent, super active, and he's not a legacy guy in terms of, the guys who, inspire players to play above their head, blah, blah, blah. He's more of a person who obviously deals with the fact that he has, a wife who is a little different maybe from him. But the thing that sticks out when I watch, just the destruction that Indiana can unleash on people. And I really think Miami will play well.
They will.
I think unless Carson Beck or somebody makes a bunch of mistakes, this should be a closer, more compelling game. But that's the thing. You just can't make mistakes. All you have to be is perfect, and you have a good chance.
And the Hurricanes will have to be perfect because this IU team, they take advantage of every single mistake you make. They do not care if they don't care who they go up against. I mean, they're proving tonight. There's Mendoza, who is going to be the number 1 overall draft pick, bottom line.
Yep.
Dante Moore has only played 20 games of NCAA football. What do we tell everybody, Bill? Players need to play 2 full seasons. Dante Moore has only got a season and a half.
Right.
He's only going to be 20 at this NFL draft. He's 19 currently. Because he started as a 17-year-old kid with the UCLA Bruins.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Does he go to this draft?
I mean, he certainly could, and he has a good chance to be quarterback 2, and some people even say a chance at quarterback 1. I don't know about that, but
there are NFL teams that do have Moore as the better quarterback.
Right, that is true. That is true. I'm just saying that, not that this game should overly influence you, but you can see poise radiating outward from Fernando Mendoza, and you don't see quite that same level of, partially because you said about the number of games played, especially in these big unfamiliar moments. Those things are a nightmare for somebody like Dante Moore, and I would advise him to come back, but he'll do what he wants to do. He's a grown man.
Well, the Hoosiers, they've got the football and they just went down the field again here. They are just beating up this Oregon's Duck team, and unlike our owner here at Team MBS Media, this Ducks team is a very good football team. It doesn't matter that they play on the West Coast, okay, Joe? It doesn't matter. This is still a very good football team. They are getting pounded, though. Absolutely pounded.
Yeah, and obviously the mistakes didn't do them any favors. You can't do that against a team like Indiana. But like I said, just the way Mendoza kept putting shot after shot right on the players' hands, the running backs got pretty much all the meat off the bones when they got a chance to run the ball. They didn't miss too many, alerts or cutbacks or things like that. They tended to play both sides of the ball close-ish to down the line.
Yeah. I mean, Caden Black had a beautiful run here in the third quarter that was called back for a holding call. They called the wrong player for the hold, by the way, but that's typical of NCAA officials. They're not that good, just like the NFL guys aren't. But again, Hemby just chews them up every single time he gets that football. We saw what Black did on that one play. I mean, these guys are just tremendous. They're very good players.
Yes.
And there's only 7 4-star recruits on the Indiana Hoosiers. How many players? How many players are 4 or 5 stars for the Oregon Ducks? Do you know?
Well, my guess is it's well over 50%, probably closer to 70 or 80.
Well, no, it's only 53 players that are 4 and 5-star recruits. That tells. And the Hoosiers just scored another touchdown. They are on fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely on fire. I mean, this is going to be a 41-point victory for the Hoosiers in a semifinal game. This is just an absolute beatdown. This is just unbelievable.
It's the kind of game where if somebody saw it happen in the Pullan Weed Eater Bowl, they would say, one team clearly didn't want to be there, blah, 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 yakety smackety. What really matters in games like this, especially if you want to be an NFL quarterback of a bad team, since that's usually what gets the crack at the first few guys. I know it's kind of a fad to start reading Marcus Aurelius now, but no matter what reason, no matter how, no matter what, see how it turns out. This is an example. This game, this team is an example of what happens when you give someone to water the fruit, pull the leaves out of the ground, grow the team, and then grow the the traditions and the expectations will all come with it, to the point that you just see a team that is head and shoulders above everybody that's played so far. The final thing I'll say is the thing you often will say about certain teams. Well, they got this, they got that, but they lack depth. Well, that's been disproven, because every time someone does get hurt, whoever comes out does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
I think once again we're talking about someone who, essentially is the, or at least to be close to being executive of the year, if not across the finish line, should become close.
Indiana, they don't have a general manager like these other teams do. This is not being done by anybody but Cignetti and his guys. This has just been a remarkable turnaround. What other team Do you know who struggled for years and years has done something like this?
I mean, not something quite like this, but
Yeah.
there have been, some teams that were maybe nothing special, or you
Well,
know,
okay. I go back to the 1988 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who were awful prior to Mr. Holtz getting there.
yes,
Yes, he turned them into a national championship team, but that wasn't a quick, easy process. This has just been 2 years. He has turned this team completely around. It's absolutely remarkable.
yeah, Mendoza, the firm
And
domestic Alberta,
Mendoza was only a two-star guy as well.
right?
So these guys who do these ratings for high school players, you guys are way off. Okay, way off. This Indiana Hoosiers team proves to me that people do not understand how to rate players for the college game. Just like the NFL teams absolutely mostly suck at the draft because they let their NFL coaches into that room instead of paying attention to what scouts have to say. The scouts are the guys who are out there. They go to practices. They meet the trainer. They meet their teachers and all that other stuff. NFL coaches don't have that ability to have that time to do this. So guess what? Teams like the Miami Dolphins, you need to have your scouts do the work. The Dallas Cowboys did their scouting homework last year. Mr. Schottenheimer, so Tyler Booker,
Yeah,
Razuka, and Ravel, top three picks. Thank you. That was the scouting team. When the
right.
coaches were there, when Dan Quinn was making decisions, you end up with Mozzie Smith and Luke Schoonmaker. Give me a break. Yes, Ashmere, I understand that you're a sad lady tonight. This is just been a nightmare for the Oregon Ducks. But Randall and I said all year round, this Indiana Hoosiers team is very well coached. They are tremendous, and this is nothing against the Oregon Ducks. Absolutely nothing against this Oregon team whatsoever. They are playing against a team. This is a very good team. Bottom line. I mean, this Hoosiers team is just starting the game with a pick six is bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I as soon as Moore went out to that side of the field, I saw Pond sitting there, and I just said, "This is going to be a pick six." I mean, and that game was basically over and done with from play one with the Ducks. It's a sad thing to see. Um, you know, and yes, I already did tell Monty as well. I congratulated Monty on the Duck season. Everybody who knows Monty Perez knows that I am one of the brothers in anger when it comes to Monty. I did tell him in a private chat tonight. This Hoosiers team is just too damn good. Nothing to hang their heads about regarding the Oregon Ducks. It's just this is just such a well coached team. It is such a well coached team. And when you have such a well coached team, I don't see Miami being able to beat this Indiana Hoosiers team. Do you, Bill? Oh, Bill. Hey, Bill.
Yes,
Yes. Do you see this Hoosiers team beating the Hurricanes?
I mean, I've said before, and I said it, months ago. Indiana's the best team. I think they can beat anybody. Miami has what they call a puncher's chance because they do have speed on the outside. They have a terrific running back in Mark Fletcher. When and if and when Becker avoids making, famous last words, They have a chance. They do. They have a legit chance because they do have some of those mismatched guys on the outside, some of those mismatched players in various parts of the team.
Yeah, but this Hoosiers group of secondary players, Pounds and Farrell and all these guys, they're going to go up against the Hurricanes' rookie wide receivers. Those young men are going to get taught a little lesson. Now, Tony we've seen him drop that football several times. If he makes another drop, it's going to a Hoosier. It's not going to be back in his hand. A Hoosier will be there. So Mr.
Right.
Tony needs to have a perfect game as well. And again, the Hurricanes might be playing at home, but it might not be a very decent home game for the Hurricanes. And again, when you guys do watch us on Draft Central, you're not going to see us discussing the players based on a playoff game. This is playoff football. It's a one and done situation. Reuben Bain and Mensenor last night had a very difficult time getting to Trinidad Chambliss. Correct? Bill?
Yes.
I mean, does that mean that Reuben Bain and Mensador are bad edges? Not at all.
Obviously not.
Not at all. So, yeah, you won't see us discounting their contributions for this year. Bottom line. Same with the Oregon Ducks who have played tonight. These guys who are going to the NFL are going to the NFL based on their entire season, not just what happened in a playoff game. So don't do that. Don't go to a playoff game to determine how you're going to judge these players. Please and thank you. Correct?
Yep. Yes, you do.
Yeah. This has just been an absolute beatdown for the Hoosiers tonight. It is nothing to hang your heads about if you're an Oregon Ducks fan. Absolutely nothing to hang your head about. I've said it. I gave the Hoosiers defense. I made them my star of the week one week. But the entire defense, not one player, the entire defense was my star of the week. That means something. Yes, Mendoza was also my star of the week a couple of times as well, but again, he was obviously the best quarterback in the country. So again, we're going to see the Hurricanes face these Hoosiers. It is going to be a very tough game for the Hurricanes to win. If Fletcher doesn't get the ground game going and Chip Beck has to throw against this Indiana Hoosiers defense, they're going to pick him apart. Bottom line. So again, we've got the 2-minute warning here. It's 56-15. The Hoosiers are definitely going to be the favorite. I don't see how any team, Miami, I said this after the Alabama beatdown that Indiana put on. I wrote an article about them. Oh, did you guys not miss Notre Dame this year? Because the Fighting Irish would have lost to this Indiana Hoosiers team. And you know how much I love the Fighting Irish. But this Notre Dame team would have lost to the Indiana Hoosiers. Bottom line. There's no doubt in my mind. As much as I am a Hoosier, an Indiana Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, there was no way that this Indiana Hoosiers team was going to be stopped this year. So, Mr. Bill?
Yep. There's.
I just said I'm a huge Fighting Irish fan. They would have put up a much better game against the Hoosiers than Alabama did. Right. But I don't see Notre Dame beating this Hoosiers team. I don't. That's pretty impressive for somebody who's an Irish fan to say this.
Very impressive. I remember seeing Andy Green's rushing numbers on his 5 best years. They were truly impressive what he did. The best ones find a way to be great if you once you make it physically possible.
Yep, yep. I mean, it has just been such a beating, though, that Indiana has handed to Alabama and now Oregon. They have just absolutely pounded two of the best programs in this country. And of course, the Oregon Ducks are about to score a touchdown here at the end of the game, but Mr. Signetti will not be pleased at that. So everybody else, yeah, this has just been a remarkable performance by the Indiana Hoosiers. They deserve full marks.
Yeah.
Oh, more. Nor just had to throw the ball away because he missed the snap. This has just been an absolute beatdown for the Hoosiers. They just absolutely own every aspect of that football field. And they don't care who you are, guys. They don't care.
Doesn't matter. A couple of people were trying to show them their ID.
Yep.
And they, blew right through that.
Yep.
Yep.
And yes, the Hoosiers got their touchdown. All right, sorry, the Ducks. The Ducks got their touchdowns. It's nowhere near enough. So, what is going to be the final score of the championship game, do you feel, Bill? What do you think?
I'll go 27-17 with Indiana winning.
Yeah. I just don't see this Hoosiers team being attacked by any offense in this country. I don't see them losing to. I'll say 30-17. I'll give them the extra field goal. I'll say 30-17.
Okay.
And everybody, the Indiana Hoosiers will be your national champions come Monday, the 19th of January. But that's it. I mean, that's the bottom line here. Again, as I said earlier, this Indiana Hoosiers team is the best coached team in every aspect of football I have seen this century. I'm not talking about the 20th century. I'm talking about this century. And that includes all of Saban's teams, because Saban's teams were not all that great special teams wise. They weren't that solid offensively. They were, and even some of the defensive teams. You don't see this Hoosiers team give up a gap. They don't give up any gaps.
Yeah.
Somebody is there to fill that gap every time. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just been completely remarkable.
Right. One of a kind, the kind of thing that will spawn a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
You're going to see all those.
Who plays Kurt Signetti?
I was thinking about that actually earlier today about players. I mean, about people I think could pull it off. I thought a little bit about Randy Quaid. I thought a little bit about
Dennis, not Randy.
Sorry, Dennis, not Randy. Not Dennis. I'm sorry, Dennis. Oof. Yes, thank you, Dennis. Dennis, yes, 100%.
who was in a couple of different football movies already. You know, the one that he starred with Jessica Lange in, hello, and a couple of other Any Given Sunday and things like that. He's also been in, but yeah. But who's a younger man who could play him though? A younger actor, not named Bradley Cooper.
Oh, maybe not.
Wilson?
Oh, maybe his brother. Maybe Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's Signetti on the sideline, being interviewed now. This guy has just done such a remarkable job.
Everywhere he's gone.
He has. Oh, by the way, he's beaten Urban Meyer's record for the best 2 seasons in Big Ten. This is his I think his 26th win. Urban had 24. So there's another record that Mr. Signetti now owns. And yeah, I think the Indiana Hoosiers go down as an unbeaten team, which is just a remarkable thing. 16-0.
Right. Well, we talked about there's a lot of talent in that footprint. They recruit well. They still develop players well. They have a lot of, coaches that help players to go from here to here. And they're usually a fairly well-coached team. It was just such a stark difference this particular game, this particular week, knowing that they'd watched the tape however many times. They were so ready to counter anything that Mr. Lee, threw at them, and then they just crumbled under pressure.
This is the Hoosiers, though. This is the Indiana Hoosiers. This is supposed to be Bob Knight basketball country. That was it. That was who they were. This team has taken over the entire state. Bottom line. Except, of course, in South Bend.
Right.
But this Hoosiers team has just been such a remarkable thing to watch. It has just been amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, Mr. Bill?
Yes, sir.
It has been a pleasure to be on with you this evening.
It has.
Yeah, I'm just stunned. I am absolutely stunned seeing this Hoosiers team playing this well. Like, I figured it might be like 34-24 tonight for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, right. You and I had like I said, my original. I think my thing I predicted was around that too. I thought it'd be a 10-point game. I thought it'd be nip tuck back and forth, and then Indiana would pull away late. Maybe they would get like I said, a strip sack late. That would help them pull away and get that, that extra few points to I think it was a 9.5-point spread.
Yeah.
So if you took Indiana, you did well. The thing about Indiana, and this is why certain people are still so late to the party, because they don't have a bunch of, 4 and 5 stars, but they don't have really any 4 and 5 stars in the 2 deep. Combined with the fact that Curt Signetti, on his 49th birthday, was just finding out he was going to get his first coaching job.
Yeah.
At Indiana University, Pennsylvania, and won. All right. And then, won at Elon, and then won at James Madison. And, I don't want to, keep going back to the Google Me thing, but name recognition and brand identity and things like that. Shape people's perceptions a little too much.
Yeah, exactly. And even in the mock draft cycle that I'm seeing currently, the Indiana Hoosier players are down on that list. They will be much higher when the NFL draft happens. I don't care. They are going to be drafted quite highly. I mean, Mr. Pounds, where are you seeing him go in the drafts? 4th, 5th round? Is that where you've seen him?
If Yeah, I've seen him in the 4th and 5th round. If I'm the Steelers and it's in the 2nd round, I'm grabbing him. Like, he fits what we like to do with that kind of player. We haven't had a player like him since Mike Hilton. And we've had other guys play the position. You know, Elliott at times did okay, but he wasn't a tremendous playmaker, a guy that flipped the game over. That's what Pons is. I wouldn't let him out of – if I'm a contender, I'm not letting him get past me late in the 2nd. If he goes anywhere after, say, pick 70, he's a massive bargain.
Yeah.
He shouldn't go that late. He should go somewhere around between 50 and 70.
And I've said this because, of course, the Cowboys do need cornerback help. Well, Pounds was sitting there in the 5th round, and I'm going, huh? What? There's no way. There should be no way.
There should be no way. Correct.
It's bizarre.
It is. It's bizarre. The level of play, and this is the thing. Remember, I said around week 6 on College Football Forecast that the best front 7 that I'd seen on defense, and I believe the best front 7 that I would see on defense in college football was not LSU, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, any of those, or Ohio State either. It was Indiana. And
Yeah.
I believed it then. I believe it now. I think that their front 7 may not be the most talented,
but they are the best. They are the best.
Right.
And really, they run five DBs a lot. So they're playing 3-3-5.
Right.
So there's usually one linebacker coming up on the line.
Right.
Sometimes he rushes, other times he goes back into coverage and what have you. But again, the linebackers are so good. If the offensive line gets to your 3 down linemen, guess what? There's a linebacker who's sitting there and he's waiting and he's hitting you. That's it.
Right. Once again, obviously, I think I see things through a Steelers prism. I might double dip, right? If I get Pounds in the 2nd or 3rd, if Fisher's available the next time, boom, I'm throwing him in the pile too. They just have,
or even Farrell. They
just have players who have such a high level of understanding of what they're supposed to do, and even more importantly, what they are not supposed to do on a play, and just to see them continuously do the right things over and over and over again. I love to see it.
They're showing on the screen right now. Big Ten title, 1967. Snap with a check mark. AP number 1 rank, never, check mark. Heisman winner, never, check mark. National title, I think that gets a check mark on the 19th. That's
I agree.
Coming. It's coming. And no, this has nothing to do with me being a Notre Dame fan and I don't like the convict school. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is the simple fact that the Indiana Hoosiers team is such a well-coached group. They are so well-coached. They don't care that they're going to go play the Hurricanes in Miami. They don't care. They will just come out and play their game.
Yep. The type of football they play travels. It could be a game where there's 5 inches of snow on the ground. Their style of play travels. Mm-hmm. It could be hot and dry. It could be swampy, rainy, whatever. Their style of play travels. It doesn't matter. They could play in the Himalayas. They could play on the floor of the Marianas Trench. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as they could provide the proper equipment to keep breathing, they're going to be fine. The way they play football is agnostic when it comes to what the conditions are.
Yep. This reminds me of our high school football team that I had in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. It was an undefeated season. Thank you very much. But again, we didn't care who we went up against, especially when they were the schools from Regina or Saskatoon, the big cities. We didn't care. We went to Regina, played on Taylor Field, the home ground of the Rough Riders at the time,
Right.
and we pounded my cousin's school, Campbell Collegiate. We pounded them. They had all these guys who were going to be going to college and all that. We didn't care. We didn't care. We were just guys that loved to play the game. And we were very well coached.
Right.
You know, our coach was the backup quarterback to Ron Lancaster for several years in Saskatchewan. So, Mr. Simonuk, he was a great coach, great man. But there you have it. I mean, this is why I always say NFL teams, your coaching staff should be consulted on who the scouts are going to bring in. You don't get the final say, however. You do not get the final say if you're an NFL coach, because guess what? The last guy that was real good at evaluating talent, Jimmy Johnson, because he had been coaching the Miami Hurricanes. He came to the league understanding the level of talent that was around college football at that time. And boy, did that man ever understand talent. He got it. You don't see guys like that. You do not see.
The last two great evaluator head coaches combinations within one person. You mentioned Jimmy Johnson. The other one was Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh. But again, where did he come from?
Stanford. But yeah.
Stanford. He didn't win a national title like Jimmy had. But again, Mr. Walsh understood how to evaluate talent, and that was both offensively and defensively. Both men were superb at understanding the talent level of players. Both of them.
Yep.
You know, and those are the two guys that NFL teams would love to have today.
Yeah.
But guess what? You don't have that. You don't have that. NFL teams, your coaches, you can scheme your way through whatever scheme you want, but let your scouts do this job.
Right.
Let your scouts take over the draft. Do not get involved except to say, thank you very much. That I can coach. And it doesn't matter. Like look at the Ravens with Mr. Linderbaum.
Right.
You remember the argument I had in our chat with a certain person?
Well, people were so worried about him being 292, and I remember telling somebody, you know what? You know, Jason Kelsey weighed when he showed up at his pro day, 288.
Yep.
288.
But again, it was all because of the scheme that the Iowa Hawkeyes were running. Wait a second. This guy can be played in any scheme you wish him to be played in. He was that talented. And what did the Ravens do with him? Hello.
He was an immediate starter.
Yep.
And he's, at least bound for their Ring of Honor if he keeps playing at this level.
Oh, absolutely, right? And Parker Brailsford, a guy that I was high on last year. You remember with Jeff and when I was talking about Brailsford, I don't care how small that man is. I don't care. That guy can play center in the NFL. Bottom line. And he's shown a very good season again at Alabama.
Right.
Oh, by the way, you Crimson Tide folks, you've got one guy coming back to your offensive line next year. One, the right tackle. Good luck. Good luck next year. It's not going to be fun for you Crimson Tide fans either next year. Yeah.
Well, chance to develop some guys that you may have brought up from high school, and of course they'll bring in some. They already have brought in some. Some pretty high profile.
They'll get some talent in the transfer portal.
Yeah, they
will. But again, when you've got only one returning offensive lineman in the college game, you're in trouble.
Right.
Unless you get 4 guys come in on the transfer portal that are all real good, you're going to be in trouble.
Right.
So, again, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3,350 players who have gone into the transfer portal between Division I and II. That's 25% of everybody playing football at Division I and Division II schools.
Yes.
That's way too many people. But hey, yeah, okay. Everybody can move. You can do whatever you like. Currently, um, yeah. I I don't see. I just don't see this Hurricanes team being able to beat the Hoosiers. Neither do you.
Right.
We'll see what happens on the 19th.
We will.
You know, um, I I'm not sure if we're going to be on after that game or not. Do you want to do this on the 19th?
Well, I know this coming Thursday we're going to do a preview of the national championship for college football forecast and a look forward at the Senior Bowl. And
Yeah.
you are more than welcome for that. And yeah, if you are doing something, let me know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because we'll probably come on and we'll just do the same thing over again, congratulating Mr. Signetti and Mr. Mendoza and Hemby and Black and Surratt and Cooper,
Aiden Fisher, and yeah,
Aiden Fisher and Farrell and Pounds. That I mean, it's just been a remarkable season to watch.
remarkable season, a once in a lifetime magical year. And then the crazy thing is, it's possible they could do it all over again. This, like I said, I tried to tell people this is not a mirage. This is not a trick. This is not an illusion, not a fad, not a phase. Indiana is here, and they're going to continue to be here at least as long as Signetti's there. And if there's someone on his staff or even somebody that comes in afterwards who's able to keep it going, who knows? But I know enough about what he does and how he does it that they will be good. Continue with it.
Yeah. Now you've heard the Cowboys fired their defensive coordinator, right? They did. Yeah. The three guys that they've already interviewed have all been previous DCs at the college level.
Yep.
Would they be very smart to try to get a hold of the Indiana and the Miami Hurricanes DCs?
Yeah. Well, Ryan Haynes is a terrific defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he loves. I mean, he's with Signetti for 9 years, I believe.
9 years.
Yeah. So he loves working for him, working with him, whatever.
Yeah.
Partially because Signetti has extremely efficient usage of his assistant coach's time. Their meeting times are timed and scheduled. Right? Timed and scheduled. So you don't find yourself in a 2-hour meeting because what the heck are we meeting for 2 hours for?
No, you need 45 minutes and this bang, you're done. You're done.
He wants people to go home and have a decent family life. He wants practices to be for learning, not discipline or punishment or whatever. So his practices also are fairly quick most of the time. I mean, there are some exceptions, maybe early in the year when they have a bunch of new guys, things like that. But once you are settled in, they have some of the shortest practices in the FBS.
Yep.
Which shows that you don't need to exhaust your players to be good.
No. I mean, it's okay. We did 2-a-days and all that fun sort of stuff. Which these young people have no idea what 2-a-days are at all. But that was a different era.
Right. Well, nowadays in the NFL, you can't have back-to-back padded practices, let alone
you don't have anywhere near enough padded practices.
Yeah.
That is just, it is so awful, and especially early in the year, offensive line, defensive line, those guys need to be in pads.
I agree.
But of course, they don't get to have that, which is a mistake. And I think it leads to a lot of the soft tissue injuries as well.
Yep.
So
inconsistent play, especially early in the season, the soft tissue injuries, all of that can be attributed, if not in whole, at least in part to that. The lack of reps, losing a preseason game. I understand why, but it's decreased the level, the precision and the level of play early in the season.
Oh, absolutely. So, hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hi.
We have a quick fiance cameo.
There you are.
Oops, sorry. Gotta rub the head when I go in.
Thank you so very much.
Well, hey,
but yeah,
the head is high and tight the way that it belongs.
yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Yes, it's good to have that. It to maintain good order and discipline.
Exactly. Right. Now, see these
What you just said.
these young fellows with all those dreads is something that you and I could just never do. Would I
Well,
have liked it? Would I have liked it? Okay, maybe, but it's just way too much.
I had my day. 30-something years ago. Yeah. In fact, when my daughter was born, I still had them, and she used to play with them. But yeah, I took a job where it was no longer an option, and I haven't had them since. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
for me, mine left me at the age of 18. So
oh yeah, right. You had a different set of marching orders.
well, yeah. When I joined the Marine Corps at 19, it was already very short to begin with.
Right.
So it was.
Right.
Oh, you're gonna teach me a lesson by cutting my hair? Not, but okay.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but yeah, I mean that was just the life that we both chose to live, right?
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So yeah, he had 5 TD passes tonight.
Yeah, President Mendoza. Yes, President.
It's absolutely remarkable.
Absolutely
remarkable.
I'm only half kidding, but he really is presidential. Like he has.
Oh yeah.
This. He's warm, genuine, charismatic, and polished all at the same time, at a level you normally see from people more than twice his age.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So again, your college football forecast will be on which day?
Next Thursday. It's
Okay.
it's always next Thursday, and then I guess it drops on Friday, but we'll tape it on Thursday.
Right, and then Friday it'll come on Team MBS Media's YouTube channel.
Yep.
Everybody, please like and subscribe to this program. Thank you very much, because that's how us small folks survive.
Yes, sir.
It was a remarkable two days. Oh, actually 3 days, because the Montana State Illinois State game, which most of you people did not watch, unlike the two of us.
But if you didn't watch it, it's still being shown on repeat.
Yep.
On ESPNU and ESPN. Please watch it, and you can thank me later. It is one of the best college football games I've seen in the past 4 or 5 years.
Oh, easily, absolutely fantastic game.
Fantastic game.
Yeah. So again, everybody,
Yep.
Have a very good evening, and you all take care.
Yes. Thank you again. And as you said, like and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.